There are a ton of tight ends that we got to make sure we are not drafting, and we're about to get into them. So what's up, guys? Welcome to Best Baller Fantasy Football. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please take a second, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. Hopping into what we got for today, the first overrated tight end that we want to make sure we are not drafting on Underdog Fantasy Football. Going to be Lions tight end, Mr. Sam Laporta. Mr. Tight End 1 a couple years ago, but guys, this tight end 1 season was predicated on the 10 touchdowns that he scored. Touchdown variance goes up and down each and every season. He's not even guaranteed to get the 7 touchdowns that he saw in last year's offense that led him to be the tight end 7 in half PPR leagues. Yes, he's on the Detroit Lions, which is a very good offense, which means it is more likely that he's going to score more touchdowns than other players of his skill level, but we are drafting him absolutely way too high. ADP of 67.7. He's the tight end 4, and the problem I have, it's not the fact that he is tight end 4, it's how much higher he is going after in front of tight end 5 and some of the other tight ends. TJ Hawkinson, you could argue he's an even better talent at the tight end position, and you can get him for 18 spots of ADP cheaper, even though it's only one positional ADP cheaper of that difference between tight end 4 and tight end 5. TJ Hawkinson, two rounds later, just give me that. Or Mark Andrews, 40 spots later. I understand that Mark Andrews did not have the season that we are used to him seeing last year, but I will take a chance on seeing what Mark Andrews has left in the tank instead of drafting Sam Laporta at this crazy, ridiculously high ADP. The next tight end that we are going to be getting into, everyone loves to talk about him. Every year it's his year. Guys, it is not the year to draft Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts getting a quarterback change this year. Kirk Cousins, who loves to throw to his tight ends, but somehow Kyle Pitts was still not a tight end, is out, and in comes Michael Penix Jr. In the last 3 games of the Falcons season, where Michael Penix got his first 3 starts, Kyle Pitts in half PPR leagues put up 2 games less than 3 points, and the only game he was at all relevant with a massive game of 12.4 points. He scored a touchdown. So take away that touchdown reception. It's another disappointing single-digit game for Kyle Pitts. With Michael Penix Jr. being his quarterback, the outlook for Kyle Pitts just isn't looking too good. Yes, he's being drafted much later than has been being drafted in the past, but just go ahead. When it comes to Kyle Pitts, you can absolutely feel really good about taking a chance on a more risky player like Brenton Strange, or going farther down the board and taking any of your younger tight ends. Just, I would rather take a bigger risk, take a bigger swing instead of taking Kyle Pitts. Yes, he still has that upside, but with that second-year quarterback in Michael Penix Jr., last year he didn't throw the tight ends all too often. It can change, but Kyle Pitts, his time in the sun is looking like it's going to be over before it even started, unfortunately. And our final guy that we are going to be avoiding here is not really one person. It's going to be not Kyle Pitts. It's going to be all these backup tight ends going above one certain tight end who I think is going to definitely outperform where he is looking right now. Some of these backup tight ends include Harold Fannin from the Cleveland Browns, or Cole Kmet from the Chicago Bears. Both of these guys coming off the board, tight end 34 and tight end 37. Also in this range, Tyler Conklin and Taysom Hill at tight ends 35 and 36. Currently, both tight ends as the number 2 tight end on their depth chart. There's another guy ahead of Tyler Conklin on the Chargers depth chart, and then Jawan Johnson is ahead of Taysom Hill on the New Orleans Saints depth chart. Both of these offenses don't throw the ball a ton. The Saints don't score a lot of points, and the Chargers offense likes to run the ball a lot. So not a whole lot of passing offense to go around for those guys. Harold Fannin, I understand he's exciting, but he is currently a backup tight end behind the very talented David Njoku, and Cole Kmet is the backup tight end behind the 10th overall pick in the NFL draft, Mr. Colson Loveland. The guy that we want to make sure we are targeting instead of these players is going to be Tyler Higbee, the Rams tight end. He's going off the board at tight end 38. Still the Rams starting tight end. This is definitely the guy you want to go ahead and select instead of these backup tight ends. Tyler Higbee, maybe you don't think he's going to be a boom. Maybe you don't think he's going to wildly outperform his value, but we know that he will at least outperform his value ever since Matthew Stafford got to that team in 2021, he's been a relevant fantasy football tight end. Yes, in 2023 and 2024, not a highly successful seasons rankings-wise, but he tore his ACL late in the season of 2023, cost him a lot of that 2024 season. Tyler Higbee, the ceiling isn't amazingly high when it comes to him, but he's going to be better than tight end 38, which is where he's being drafted. So Tyler Higbee is the pivot who you want to pick up instead of a backup tight end when you are looking later down the board in fantasy drafts. I know he also has Terrence Ferguson breathing down the back of his neck as a rookie tight end, but as of today, we can still confidently be drafting Tyler Higbee. This may change in the future, but it's late enough in the draft where we are selecting this player that should we get new information, you can go ahead and change who you are taking in what's going to be very late in the draft when it comes to Tyler Higbee. He's looking like kind of a last round pick, one of those flyers. The last round, of course, being the take your guy round. You don't have to target one guy. And if your player taken in the last round doesn't end up doing anything, it's not going to matter too much. But those are the guys you want to make sure that you are not selecting when it comes to these underdog drafts. Overrated tight ends, take Tyler Higbee instead. When you're drafting at the top of the draft, instead of Sam Laporta, take Mark Andrews if you want to take a chance. My strategy, you guys know it, just take the elite tight ends. Take Kittle, take Bowers, take McBride. At ADP, I will live with the consequences. I'll put together a team outside of that. But that's what I got for today. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and have a great day.